Hello people, Donna here. Welcome to my channel, welcome to my studio, and welcome to this little class. This is what I'm going to show you how to make. It looks like a little leaf to me, and it has something about it as very Art Nouveau. Maybe it's these curls, maybe it's the little gold elements, the occasional flashy crystal. Anyway, that's what it reminds me of, and that's why I titled it the way I did. One of my very favorite periods in art, Art Nouveau. All right, so these colors are my colors out of my color box. I don't have recipes for these colors. And when these colors are gone, I'll probably never make exactly the same color again, because you will see you'll see how the color was created, and you'll get it. I don't want anybody to be intimidated by that. So I made another one. This. Now this is only one cane. This. Okay? It's what I used to make the decorative snakes on the top, and it is what is covering the whole form. So don't be worried and don't stress and don't say, well, I can't do it because I don't know what those colors are. Because, as I said, I probably can't do it again myself. I can, however, make a Skinner blend plug. Right? And this is basically the same concept as tone on tone. Very hard to make a mistake. So make your Skinner blend, make your plug, whatever colors you happen to like, and off you go, off to the races. Don't even worry about it. Now, in this class, I'm going to show you how to make these gold elements. All I have are a couple little crystals in there. So this is quite a basic class. It's not going to be difficult for you to do. I really like it. I like it a lot. I really do. Okay, so I guess you know I like it. So let's start. So these are the colors I'm going to use. I'm going to mix these. I'm going to mix these. This is going to be in there somewhere. I think I'm going to use this one for the zipper, but I might use this one for the zipper. Don't think I have anything else I want to use. Also got lavender. So I've got 3 choices for the zipper. So I will make up my mind after I make the blend and see how they look. Now, one of the reasons why many times I don't tell you exactly how you make a color is because I go into my color box. I have scraps. I'll mix these 2 together and try them. I have scraps. These 2 will go together. I even have more of this one. So let me mix my colors together because I'm going to Skinner blend. And then after Skinner blending, I'm going to make a plug, and then we will make a zipper cane. Okay, going to Skinner blend. Traditional Skinner blend with 2 right angle triangles like this. Okay. Now, if you're familiar with Skinner blend, you can just skip ahead. But if you're not, and if you're new to clay, then this is what I'm doing. I've got 2 right angle triangles. I'm going to press these sides together like so, so that the corners do not meet. The reason for this is because I want pure yellow and pure green. And if they meet at the corners, the whole sheet gets blended and you have no pure color. Okay, first time you roll through, 2 colors must touch the rollers. Roll through. Every time after, you're going to fold same color edge, yellow on yellow, green on green. Place the fold on the rollers and roll through. same color edge, fold on the rollers and roll through. And here is my blend. Now, I am going to thin this sheet. I'm going to place this edge on the rollers and thin it, roll it through maybe setting number 3 or 4, like so. I got some schmutz, cut it off, and now I'm going to roll it up because I'm going to turn this into a plug, okay? You do not roll from yellow to green or green to yellow. You're going to roll the blend back on itself, okay? Like so. Looks like a Skinner blend cigar. Now, I'm going to turn this into a plug by taking my hands and rolling from the outside in. So it's the reverse of reduction. When you're reducing a cane, you're going like this and pulling out that way. When you're making a plug, you're starting from the outside and going in. Every now and then, you might want to take the ends. If at any point you think that one color is harder than the other and doesn't want to move, sometimes you end up with a waste in the middle. Okay, if that ever happens to you, just grip, start twisting, and push like this. And make the clay go where you want it to go. And this is a plug. A very good way to store your Skinner blends. Just like that. All right. That's our plug. Now, let's make these gold elements. And in this particular piece, you can see a little gold donut. Well, what it is black polymer clay rolled thin. Now, I rolled this through setting 5. I'm going to take acrylic paint, iridescent rich gold, Liquitex, my favorite. And I have placed this tiny piece of black clay on this tile. You want it to stick to something. Okay, so there's layer number 1. Now, I need to let this dry and apply another coat. Then I will let it dry and apply a third. And after that's done, I'll be back. Let me say something about the drying time. It doesn't take long. A minute, minute and a half. It just needs to be dry to the touch. Doesn't need to be dry all the way through. Okay, so after I get my 3 coats on, I'll be back. So the sheet is dry. The gold paint on the clay is dry. Now I'm going to take these little cutters, right? Uh-oh, I have stuff in that one. That's not good. I've got to get that out. Do I have another cutter? Let's just use a different cutter. Why not? Why not? Just seems like it would be very hard to get the clay out of that little tiny cutter. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one cutter and push it all the way down. Now it's important that you work on something like a tile or your work surface, something that's going to hold on to the clay, okay, and not let the clay move. Because there's no ejector. These are not like Kemper cutters. So you actually want that little piece to stay put right on the tile. You don't really want to take it with you. Okay. Great. Now I have these cute little donuts. What am I going to do with them? Two ways you use them. One, raw, which is what I did on this bead. See that? These were put on when it was raw. I will show you how. Just going to take and lift this, and let's lift this off like that. I'm going to move this one over here. And now it is simply a matter of picking them up. Oops, oopsie, oopsie. I'm going to take this. I'm just going to push that out of the middle. And now I have a donut. See? A little donut. There. Now that would simply be pressed to something like this bead. I don't have anything raw right now, so I'll just take this. Just take a little piece of clay. And of course it just sticks. And it would be cured that way. As I said, that's what I did here. The little holes, the smaller holes, holes smaller than that, were also applied when the clay was raw. Okay? Now the second way is to press them to raw clay when they are cured. This is raw on raw. And then you have something like this. That's already cured. So that can be pressed to, if you put a little bit of liquid underneath, you can just sit it on top. Or what I usually do, and what I did here, was actually press them and push them into the raw clay like that. And then that gets cured. All right, so you can use them two ways, raw and cured. Now, the reason why I have so many of these cured ones like this, is because when you put paint on clay, it has a shelf life. I can't just leave this on this tile for a month, because I'll come back and the paint will no longer be sticking to the clay. Once that paint completely dries all the way through, it loses its sticky. It doesn't stick to the clay anymore. So that's why you only make as much as you need at the time. And if you make extra, then you do this. You just make a sheet of gold embellishments that you can use when they are cured. Because this is going to be cured. All right. I really do need the smaller hole. Oh, here, I'll just use this one. This one's, I think, closer to the size I want. I think, maybe not. Maybe it's just my imagination. Just my imagination. And I just take every little piece, like that. All right, not wasting it. Whenever and wherever I can take and cut a little shape, I do. Okay. right. Okay, so now I'm going to have all these great little gold dots that I can use whenever. Okay, so now I'm just going to cure it just like that. And after it's cured, I will separate all the pieces. Now I've got to make a zipper cane. Now of these, what looks the best? I could also do black and white. That I could certainly do. I have yellow as well. I have this. Okay, so this is hard for me. Because of all of these, my personal favorite is this one. That does not mean that it's the right one for this. Is this the right one? Well, this has potential because yellow and violet are complementary colors. How much is it gonna matter? Just imagine a zipper on here. That would look fine. Zipper on here. This always looks good to me. This, I guess that's okay. Yeah, you know what? That's okay too. Yellow. Yellow. I think I'm going with the yellow. I think my zipper cane will have yellow in it. It'll have yellow in the middle, and then I just have to select a color to go on either side of the zipper. I will, of course, have black. It's so hard. Sometimes it's just hard. It's hard for me to make up my mind. Make up my mind. Okay, you know what? I'm going to do this. It's kind of safe. Today, you know, some days you just feel like, I need safe. I need not to step too far outside of my comfort zone. So I'm doing it. Might be boring. Might be boring. Okay, I'm going to take black. And I'm going to roll my black clay through a thin setting. Let's say setting number 5. Maybe 6. Da, da, da. Okay, here's number 6. 6 is pretty thin, but I think it needs to be thinner. Okay, setting number 7. 7 is better. 7's better. Okay, now I'm going to construct this on this. Now I'm going to condition this up just a tad. This cane is a little bit cold. A little bit. I mean, it's not too bad. But it's not a new cane. All of these are from a class I did fairly recently. Okay, let's just do it. And I'm going to make it very short. I don't really need much of this zipper. And the thing about zipper canes is you only make as much as you need at the time. because they are, you know why? Because they're kind of a pain in the butt to store. Now, I have marks on here, 3mm marks. I'm going to follow those. 3mm, 1, 2, 3. I can probably get one more out, and while it's standing, I should probably do that. Okay, that's the end. Now, each of these will be rolled through setting number 0, or the thickest. Begin with the thickest. And really, at this point, I'm just trying to even them out. Okay. Okay, now let's move to setting 1 and roll each one through. Let me take a look at how thick that is. I like this. I do. Do I want it thinner than this? I'm going to roll through setting 2. This is setting 2. I think setting 2 is good. So each slice will be rolled through setting 2. And of course, when I roll through, I'm putting this edge on the rollers, not this edge, this edge. Okay, so let us put these side by side, like that. Really try to jam it up against the previous slice like that. Okay, do your best. Do your best. Like so. Okay, here we go. Alrighty. Now I'm going to take my little brass rod, if I can find it. Here it is. And roll. You know what? Someone asked me why I don't use an acrylic rod. You know, they've got this little tiny acrylic rods like this. And here's the truth of the matter. I have one, maybe even 2, but because they're clear, I can't see them. Somewhere on my desk, my work table, there is a clear acrylic rod that I can't find. Okay, so let's take this off and let's just put it on the sheet again, like so. Okay, so this is the simplest zipper cane. I don't have any other colors on either side. Do I want them? Maybe. Was my original intent to have them? Yeah, probably. Am I going to put them on now? I'm not sure. I think I'm just going to leave them like this. This will just be a simple zipper. The complex zipper has colors on both sides and then finished off with black. You know what? I think I will just put the green on and leave the black, the final black, off. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. Now, I want this to be quite thin. Doesn't have have to be very thick. I'm a little bit off today. I'm going to blame daylight savings time. Good grief. Nice that the days are getting longer, though. I do like that part. But yes, I'm a little bit off. I am. What am I gonna do? This too will pass. Okay. All right. Okay, so there's the zipper. There's the zipper. I'm glad I did that. I feel better about it. Cut this end. I like this color, this kind of institutional green color. Yeah, I do. Okay. See the little spaces between? I don't like those very much, so just gonna roll a little bit more. And yes, I'm making it just a bit thinner, but hopefully the little pieces will stick together better. Okay, there's the zipper. All right, now the next thing we have to do is we have to make our half a pod. But in order to make half a pod, I have to make a whole pod. Inside of the whole pod is, you guessed it, scrap clay. Okay, I'm going to take my scrap clay. This clay feels really good. I mean, it's very fluid. It feels very fluid, not brittle. I have gold paint on me because my original plan was to do something completely different for you this week, and then I went and did it, and okay, I confess, I hated it. I didn't exactly hate, I just didn't like it. So it went in the trash bin. Yep, the trash bin. What can I say? Some things go in the trash bin. It's really true. But I didn't think in the other class you were going to really learn anything new. Okay. Plug. All right, this plug happens to measure, let me tell you if I can find my ruler. Oh, look, I found a tiny one from Rings and Things. Okay. It is about 1 3/4 of an inch by almost 7/8. Now enter the plug. Mr. Plug, I'm going to cut you in half like this. This side will go someplace over here with the other plugs. And let's just flatten it. I'm flattening it. Just grab the boss. Teresa Salgado's the boss. I really like this thing. And it was a gift. It was a very wonderful gift from Lynn. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, thank you. Okay. So I flattened it, and now I'm going to roll it through my pasta machine, but first I will clean under my rollers. That's where I tend to get the most collected schmutz, is like under the rollers. So we'll start with the thickest setting, this edge on the rollers, roll through. Ta-ta! So I'm going to make it longer this way, this edge on the rollers, resetting my machine to setting number 2, and off we go. Ta-ta! Let's do that again. Setting 3. Now, there is plenty of white in this clay, and so I'm not really concerned about this being thin, covering this, and you being able to see the scrap clay underneath. That is not a concern of mine. There is enough white here. So I'm going to roll through 4. If this clay were more translucent, then I would say, I better not do that. But it's not. Let's start with a nice clean edge. And now I will wrap around. Secure, wrap, just a gentle tug so that the clay is pulled against the center core. Transfer the mark, cut the mark, close, like so. Just like that. Okay. Never one to waste a perfectly good Skinner blend. This is what I do with this. I just take it and I wrap it around again, and this will be integrated into that. Yes, I do not waste my Skinner blends. All right, let's cut the end. Ends. Let's cut the 2 ends. And now it is time to close the ends. If you've watched any of the classes, no doubt that you've seen this process. We just need to conceal the scrap, so I'm going to gently push in. Now, see this? That little line? Well, I could roll for a very long time to get rid of that, but I'm a little impatient about things like this. So I just take my brass rod. If you can find your acrylic rod, you can use it, but I can't find mine because it's clear. Just vanishes. Okay. And that's good. I bet some of you are like really clean in your studio and you never have like schmutz and all this stuff. I don't know what to say. I have no excuses. Okay. Now, let us pull this pretty industrial institutional green over the end. I really do love it. Is this sage? Is that what this color is? Whatever, I really like it. Maybe it's a little more blue than sage. I like it. Okay, now let us close this pretty yellow end. Okay, I've got a little bit of scrappage showing, so I'm just going to take this, push it in, and close. Close it again. Not a big deal. Not. Okay. All right. Now, some of you may not want something this large. Some might not. And if that's the case, then I would just cut off one end and then close it up again. And you will then have effectively made your bead smaller. Okay? But as for me, I'm going for the big one. Yeah, I am. I'm going for the big one. I haven't made this piece in so long. I've really always liked it, but I made them and then I moved on to something else as I do that. All right. Where? Oh, there's the seam. So I am going to cut along the seam, and I'm going to cut this in half. I am going to clean my blade and cut this in half. Okay. So now this end is anchored to the table, and this end is kind of guided across the piece and then down. Now I have two. All right, so here's half of the pod. Now, I originally had planned on doing something different, but it didn't turn out. I didn't really like it that much. It looked kind of weird to me. So I have changed this whole tutorial. Luckily, we are going to use this. Now, I am just going to pull a stem out of the end. Okay? Just pulling it out like so. Just gently stretching it out. Like so. Yeah, the other piece, you know, I had made it in different colors, and I liked it a lot, but yeah, I mean, I had done it a number of years ago, and it just wasn't making much sense to me the way I was doing it now. Okay, so I really would like to close the stem up, but I'm still got some of the scrap exposed. But I might just have to live with that. Okay. Let's stretch it out even further. Let's stretch it out like so. Like that. Just gonna gently pull this out too. I'd like to curve it back a bit. Thin it out. All right. Now this guy is a bit on the plain side. I love the colors. I gotta admit, I love these colors together. Now, what I'm going to do is I have this, which is another, I love this Skinner blend. It's sort of kind of a warm beigey color. And then this nice kind of peachy magenta mix that I tend to end up with. So I'm just going to cut a slice about that thick. And I'm going to roll this through, probably setting a number 2 or 3, placing this edge on the rollers. This is setting 2. I think I'll stop here because what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut some pieces. Like so. And I'm going to roll them into long snakes. I love these colors together. All right. Okay. Something like that. Kind of Art Nouveau. Okay, so let me roll another. And I think I'm just going to embellish this whole form with just these little swirls and yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I mean, a simple thing, but I just love the colors. Maybe I'll finish it off with a little crystal. I'm not really sure. Da, 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 da. Oops. Oopsie. Leave that like that for just a moment. And let's roll another. Now, nothing's been pressed so hard against the form that it can't be moved if I wanted to. I could make this one curl up here and come down the other way. Why not? Let's give this a go. see if this works. I think it'll look better if I stick with the same direction. Curls on one end. Okay. I could do more snakes if I needed to. Just trim that away. Push that in. Trim this away. Push it in. This is kind of Art Nouveau. I like it. I love Art Nouveau very much. It's sweet. I mean, it's not very complicated. It's not very busy, but it needs something. And I believe it needs some gold. Some of my little gold pieces. These guys. Running out of room. Okay, so let me explain what these are. If you're in the classroom, you know what these are. Now, this is actually black clay that I put several coats of gold acrylic paint on. Then I cut the shapes out with these little tiny cutters like these. And I cured them. So they were all a sheath with just these little cured, just a piece of gold colored clay with all these little cutouts. You cure it, then you start punching out all the little cutouts, and this is what you get, okay? So let's just start with this guy. Let me punch out the middle. You can see, you just punch it out and you're left with a donut like that. Keep that around. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. I like crystals. I like these teeny tiny ones. Then I think in the middle of this guy, of course, we're going to plop one in there. Now, do I want a second one of these donuts? Let me take a look. Let me take a look. See if I need another donut. No, I think one donut is enough. And then a sprinkling of little tiny baby crystals. If I can turn this one around. So it's not too much, it's just a little bit. A little bit. So it's not really interfering too much. The only other thing I might be able to do, this one crystal is slightly larger. Just a bit larger. I just thought it needed something. This guy down here, larger here. It's sweet. I think this is really a sweet little piece. I do. It's my Art Deco leaf. And I love the colors. I do. I love the colors together. Drives me crazy. I love them. Okay, now my only question, do I want to turn this around? No, I think I'll leave it. Okay, so let's put all these pieces in now. That guy, I just push in with the back of my pencil. Now the next one I'll put in will be this guy. A little bit closer. And with the back of my pencil, I'm just going to slowly push the donut into position. Now for the crystal on the middle, in the middle of the donut, I think I will put just a drop of liquid clay. And drop it in. Now the liquid has sort of encased the crystal, so it will hold it in. Now the remaining crystals I'm just going to have to push in, and I'm going to try to push them in deep enough so that the clay captures them. I'm going to move this down just a bit. Like so. So push it in till you think that the clay, see the clay will open up and then it kind of closes up again around the crystal. Okay, just like that. And this, I think I can move out just a bit. It's going to be a little more difficult because I'm kind of pushing it on a slope. Yeah, this is kind of a slope. So just do your best. There. All right. Oops. Okay, there we go. Wasn't what I intended to do today, but I like it. I don't know what I like the most. I like the colors. I gotta admit it. I like the colors. The colors are what are doing it for me here. Now that's a blank spot there. Can I live with blank spots? You know what? I should learn how to. Everything doesn't demand filling up. Okay, so let's cure this. The piece is cured and it's ready to be backed. All right, nice and flat so I don't have to do any sanding, but I do need to glue my little, hello, where are you? My tie tack on. Yeah. Okay. Tie tack. I'm just pushing the tie tack to the clay just for a few minutes. Not even minutes, a few seconds. There we go. Now this clay has been rolled through setting number 4 on my pasta machine. This is my this is my dual plex refrigerator liner sponge that I use for obviously black clay. Now I'm going to place the clay on and I'm going to roll this the dual plex and the clay together through the same setting, which was 4. Nice texture. Yeah, there we go. All right, now let's take some liquid clay, apply it to the back of the piece. Like so. Like so. Now, even though you can see a little bit of the scrap, I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to try to get the black clay, pardon me, on the stem. I could try, but it could end up being one of those situations where I wish I hadn't done that. All right, so let me just take this, put it on the tie tack back like so. Press it all the way down to the bottom. Now, there's the back about right there, so let's try cutting there to start with. I may have to cut more. It may be all right. Okay. Now, I'm just going to use my craft knife and cut around best I can. Sometimes it's kind of difficult because you've got this, it's not perfectly smooth. Got these little areas that stop you. But just do the best you can. Sometimes it's better to go from the front. sometimes from the rear, and sometimes in the same piece you'll find yourself moving from front to back. Okay. Okay, so here's where things get a little bit different. Cut as far as you can. Remove any excess so you can see what's going on. Cut, and if necessary, you're just going to go around something like that, and then off. Okay. Okay, that looks pretty good. It looks tidy. You just want it to look neat. Good. One last thing to do. Signature cane. And now the piece will be cured again in the oven. I'm going to take an acupuncture needle and pierce a lot of holes in the back. And this is just in case there's air between the raw clay and the cured. Don't want any trapped air. We're just using this needle. I'm just providing escape routes. Okay, so let's cure this and then I'll be back. Well, here we are at the end of class. You know, I thought I should explain to you in perhaps a little more detail about using one Skinner blend to make this piece. I think you'll probably understand it just looking at it. Now, the Skinner blend on the base piece runs from light to dark. That was my choice. Now, I cut and I rolled my snakes, and I placed the dark on the light so that the light would fall on the dark. All right? So I think that should be clear. You just look at it and you can actually see that that's the arrangement. And that's why I think it works the way it does. Okay? So that's all I wanted to say. It's the same exact process, only you don't need two blends. You just need one. Yeah, cool, huh? All right, I hope you enjoyed this class. I hope you make many of these leaves. I really like them. I like them a lot. I'm going to wear it. Yep. As if I have anywhere to go. I never go anywhere. Just look great on my jammies. Yeah. Okay, guys. Love ya. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done so. I hope you you check out some other classes too. Yeah. If you're new to polymer clay, it's always my goal to try to demystify and clarify and perhaps help you understand the medium a little better. If you're familiar with clay, well, well, I mean, I just hope you liked it. Okay, kids, I'm Donna. I'm signing off. Bye.